Raising your first puppy is hard, but these tips will make life a lot easier for you. And this first one will help with one of the most frustrating problems every puppy owner faces. All of that biting and chewing. Here's the deal. Biting and chewing are natural behaviors for puppies. It's not that they're trying to hurt you or ruin your stuff. So the best way to get them to stop biting and chewing isn't necessarily to get them to stop it altogether. It's about redirecting them to things that they're allowed to bite and chew. For example, when I'm playing with my puppy, I am always armed with a toy to use as a shield if he decides that it's more fun to bite my fingers than whatever he was playing with. This avocado makes a great shield because it's soft and he can sink his teeth into it as much as he wants. And you can use the same strategy to get your pup to stop chewing your belongings. Instead of just telling them, "Hey, stop chewing that," and to ignore their natural needs, give them a chew toy that they can chew. And here's a little tip. If they're hesitant to leave your stinky shoe that they're loving chewing, it can help to smear a bit of peanut butter on the toy to get their attention. One of my dog's favorite chew toys is this Benny Bone maple stick. I'll share a link to get this toy and some other tools mentioned in this video down in the description for you. But even though redirecting is helpful to get them to stop chewing and biting, if they've worked themselves into a biting and chewing frenzy, almost nothing you can do will get them to stop. Well, except this next tip. Using barriers to limit where your puppy can go. Yes, I know, your puppy is your baby, and you want them to feel comfortable in your home. But giving them free reign of the house will make life a lot harder for you. You know how we were just talking about when your puppy gets into a biting frenzy? Well, one of the best things to do when your pup is in that state is to leave the area so that they can't bite you anymore. But we all know that puppies don't just let their prey escape so easily. As you're walking away, they follow you and bite your ankles. Not fun. But if you can simply step over to the other side of a baby gate or playpen, escape will be a lot easier, and your puppy will have some time alone to chill out with their toys. And this strategy won't only save your ankles. Let's say your puppy has discovered a new hobby, chewing up your furniture. Instead of spraying anti-chew spray on everything you own, you can just use baby gates and playpens to keep your puppy away from your furniture or in a puppy-proof room. If they never get in the habit of chewing things that they're not supposed to, and if you teach them what they're allowed to chew on, then the chances of them chewing up your whole house as they get older goes down a lot. But using barriers to limit where your puppy can go just might be most valuable for potty training, which takes us to the next tip. I wish somebody told me how often you actually need to take your puppy out when you're potty training them. Here's potty training explained in 5 seconds. Show them where they're supposed to go potty, and don't let them go where they're not allowed to. It's simple, but not easy. And one of the things I didn't understand as a new puppy parent was just how often to take them out when you first get them. Some people think that you should take them out every hour or two, but that's not quite enough for an 8-week-old puppy. If you really want to potty train them fast, you should take them out every 30 to 60 minutes. I know, it sounds crazy, but if they never have an accident in the house, and they always go outside where they're supposed to, potty training will be much faster. But as they get a little older and potty training gets easier, this next obstacle gets harder. But first, if you love your puppy and want them to be the best dog they can be, subscribe to Doggy Digs so you never miss any of our future doggy videos. Okay, one of the hardest things I struggled with in raising my puppy was getting all of his energy out. Yes, potty training is hard, but that phase actually goes by pretty quickly compared to the crazy energetic puppy phase. Our puppy would have zoomies around the living room, giving us drive-by nips on our hands and feet as we watched on. We were laughing because it was cute and funny, but we were also slightly terrified because he was totally out of control. So, how can you turn your crazy puppy into a calm puppy? Well, the most important thing that nobody told me was that you need to give them just as much mental exercise as physical exercise. We were taking him on walks and playing fetch and tug, but we were totally neglecting giving his brain a workout. My favorite way to do this is with a puzzle toy, like a frozen Kong. This is where you soak their kibble in water for 10 to 20 minutes, put it in a Kong, put a dash of peanut butter in the hole, and then freeze it. It challenges their brain because they need to figure out how to get their kibble, but they absolutely love it. My dog also loves the Kong Wobbler. If I could go back in time, I would feed him all his meals through this toy so that he gets a mental workout every day without me giving him extra calories. Training for a few minutes a day is another great way to mentally challenge your pup. But here's the best thing about all of this. When puppies are young, you're limited in where you can take them because they haven't gotten all their vaccines yet. But puzzle toys and training are both things you can do inside your own home. So mentally exercising your puppy will make your home life with them a lot easier. But when it comes to everything outside of your home, like walks, going out to coffee shops, or hanging with other dogs, here's the most important thing: socializing your puppy. Most people either ignore this or get it totally wrong. It's not just about getting your puppy used to other animals and people. It's also about getting your puppy used to the sights, sounds, and objects they'll interact with as an adult dog. It's so important because it can prevent unwanted behavior like aggression, as well as fear and anxiety, and help your puppy grow into a confident dog. But here's the tricky thing. There's a window of time when puppies are most open to new experiences and where socialization is most effective. That window is roughly between 3 and 16 weeks. But guess what else doesn't happen until 16 weeks? Yep, they don't finish their vaccines until then. So many people are scared to take them outside during this time. It makes socialization a lot more difficult. But there are ways to get around it. You can hold your puppy in your arms as you walk through a busy market to get them used to the sights, sounds, and smells of being out in public. Or you can put them in the cart at a store and let them meet other people and experience the store from the safety of the cart. If you want more ideas for what to do when socializing your puppy, I'll link to a checklist down in the description. As you're introducing your pup to new things, they might get a little scared. If that happens, it's totally normal. You just might need to give them a little more space or take it slower. You need to take baby steps. And in fact, baby steps is pretty much the secret to everything when raising a puppy. It's hard for us to understand. Like, what's so scary about taking a bath or riding in the car? These are some of our favorite things. But for puppies, it's different. They don't come pre-programmed with being okay with living in a human world. Here's a quick story. My friend had a puppy who hated riding in the car. So instead of just hoping she'd grow out of it one day, he broke the process of car riding down into baby steps. For the first few days, he simply gave her treats next to the car. Then, he gave her treats next to the car with the door open, even though she was still outside of it. Then, he gave her treats with her in the car, but the car was off. Then in the car with the car on, then backing out of and back into the driveway, and eventually, they worked up all the way to where she no longer had anxiety about riding in the car. And this same process can be broken down for things like giving your dog a bath, getting them used to their collar and their leash, trimming their nails, socialization, and pretty much everything your puppy might be scared of. It does take a long time, but that leads us to this next biggest tip I wish I knew before I got my puppy. Be patient. I know, it's generic advice, but remember this. The puppy phase goes by fast. They'll be potty trained before you know it. They'll be big before you know it. The chewing and biting, with a little training and the tips mentioned earlier in this video, it will be over soon. So even though it seems like the end of the world when they're peeing on the floor and biting your fingers nonstop, keep in mind that it only lasts a short time and, believe it or not, you're actually gonna miss the puppy phase. And because it goes by so fast, here's one of my biggest regrets with my puppy: not taking enough videos. Look at this little guy. He was so goofy and cute, and now he's a graceful adult. Well, sometimes. Your bouncy, gangly puppy will be more coordinated soon, and although you'll probably have plenty of pictures, this is a reminder to take videos too, because pictures just can't capture the adorable way that they move. This was one of the biggest mistakes I made with my puppy, but if you want to see 13 other mistakes first-time puppy owners make, watch this video next.